Good morning. It's Friday. Happy Friday to you all, and I hope you've had a beautiful week and heading into spring for us in Australia, which is really fabulous as well. So today I've had so many people come to me over the years and really say, I just want to be happier. I just want to experience more happiness in my life. Hey Christy, great to have you on, darling. So many people are really just wanting to experience more happiness as well. Hey Erica, great to have you on, babe. It's one of those things that can feel really elusive at times. Hey Matt, great to have you on. It can really feel so elusive at times. And hey Megan, great to have you on, sweetie. Sorry, I feel like I'm kind of jumping all over the place already. And with authentic happiness or genuine happiness, it's not one thing that finally, when you get everything lined up, when everything all comes together, that it's a one-time certificate. And by that I mean it's a moment-to-moment thing. And I think that we can all kind of get caught up at times, and I certainly have. Thank you, Megan, all the way to Ireland. I love that, sweetheart. Well, I hope you're having a fabulous day over in Ireland. What time is it over there? I'm curious. So definitely with authentic happiness or genuine happiness, it's not a one-time certificate. And I think that we can sometimes lose sight of that as well. And we can think, I should be happier, or we put all of these rules and regulations on ourselves in how we should be. And one of the things that I've really learned over a period of time is that it's never about what we're actually doing that brings us happiness in the moment. It's always about who we're actually being. And the reason for that is that the soul, the deepest part of ourselves, when we're living congruently with who we feel is aligned with the greatest part of ourselves, then, hey Chris, great to have you on, then this is where we actually feel like we're actually being the real self. We're really being us. When we're angry, when we're frustrated, when stress is like just piling on top of us, then that's what creates like a lot of those challenges, and we begin to not like who we're being. 9:50 p.m. Hey Pete, great to have you on. So it's definitely evening. Well, it's 6 a.m. here, Megan, so I hope you have a great evening, honey, and great to hear from you as well, Erica. So if you guys have got any questions about these things or any particular challenges, please throw them out there as well. Just pop in the comments box, and I'm more than happy to address those as we kind of move through this morning too. Hey Cecilia, hey Chris, where are you up to now? Last Friday you were in New York City, so keen to hear where you're at around the world at the moment as well. And so of course, getting back onto our topic of it's happiness really does come from who we're actually being in the moment. Now, what actually happens, what trips us up, is really a lot around, we believe that we need to do all these things so that finally we can be this particular way, so that we can be happy or be safe or be secure or be confident or any of those things. And it's always, I guess, a lot of... what am I trying to say here? It really can trip us up because we get so focused on this I'll be happy when syndrome that in the moment we're actually not really connecting with our real self as well. And that's really challenging as well. Hey Pete, so I'd love to hear where you're from then, Pete. Obviously a little bit behind here as well. And so Chris, great to have you back home as well, and nice and frosty here. So definitely in terms of, well, how do we shift and changes? How do we overcome stress? Is really stepping back into creating from the internal self. And this can feel challenging because it's almost like ignoring reality, ignoring life as it is in order to recreate what we're actually wanting. I truly believe that today's experience is nothing more than a collection of yesterday's thoughts, and our personal reality is literally created from our personality as well. So that can be really challenging if we feel like we're being a particular way that we don't actually like as well. So that makes it tricky, because when we're not living in alignment with who we believe that we need to be, then that just messes up the whole thing. Now throw into that, and I will dissect this a little bit further because it sounds a little bit jumbly and a little bit of a mess at the moment. Hey Steve, great to have you on, and thanks for tuning in. And so really, one of the things that can really happen is that we get so caught up in all the doingness, we're stressed, we've got all these challenges that are coming up in life, all these things that we need to face. So perhaps we're going through financial challenges, perhaps we're going through relationship challenges, and we're reacting to our external environment with fear, with scarcity, with perhaps hurt or frustration or resentment or anger or any of those things. And in that moment, we're actually being that particular way. Have you ever had one of those moments? Hey Kirby, great to have you on, babe. Have you ever had one of those moments where it didn't matter what you actually did, you didn't feel good anyway? And that's one of those challenges as well that we can definitely experience over time. And I know when I was heavily grieving my mum, it was just like all the things that used to bring me joy, just it all felt meaningless. It all felt pointless. And definitely, like, I've had that as well. Pete, definitely. Yeah, I probably wouldn't use the term, for me personally, all rich people or all is very, it's kind of like saying everybody all the time and using that universal language. I know some amazingly wealthy, abundant people who are doing incredible things, that are incredibly happy in life and are really incredibly inspiring as well. So I think money just makes us more of who we actually are and really amplifies. So if we're greedy and selfish and we've got more money, that's going to amplify that. If we're already generous, kind, and really living from a place of authenticity, I think that money really helps us to have more freedom and more options around that as well. So I'm really cautious in terms of my own money mindset and what I'm projecting onto other people around money is really, really important as well. So I thought I read all. I could be totally wrong with that, Pete. Sorry, it's flipping through a little bit quickly there. Hey, Melissa. So it really can be, one of those things around, and I definitely thought that, as a single mum, when I was struggling, only earning $300 a week, it was just like, oh my God, my life is so difficult. My life is so hard. So I was being very reactive to my life at the time. And what I actually really learned was gratitude and self-love were the two things that literally changed my life in so many ways as well. Hey Naomi, so there's the more, whatever we're focusing on obviously at the time is what we will feel, is what we will actually experience as well. So to bring this back, I guess, into a little bit more of a concept that we can kind of grab onto and start to implement in our life is really about emotional mastery. And we can have so much going on in our external world, and whatever we're choosing to focus on, however we're feeling will be amplified by that. So if we're feeling negative, we're going to be looking or focusing on a lot of the negative things. If we're feeling a sense of gratitude, we're going to be looking for, well, what's going right, what's going well. And I know that most of this is like just common sense stuff, but it's the actual ability to be able to really truly master this and to know yourself intimately and to not actually get caught up in the drama or in the story, to be able to step back and actually observe when those identities or when those reactions are actually playing out, and to be able to ask yourself a new conscious question to be able to change your focus in that moment. Hey Cynthia, great to have you on, sweetie. Thanks so much for tuning in. So that's the real key to really implementing this, and it really comes back to the quality of questions that we're asking ourselves. And a lot of the time with the quality of our questions, they can be really crappy questions at times. It might be, and I did a video on this not that long ago, but I really think it's such an important thing, and it's certainly been one of the aspects that's helped me to focus on gratitude, that's helped me to focus more on self-love as opposed to beating myself up or feeling critical, because in that moment I'm being critical, I'm beating myself up, I'm being angry, I'm being frustrated. as opposed to being loving, being kind, and being able to amplify my world from internally and be able to start to change my personality from the habitual emotions that I was previously experiencing and had anchored in and was very easily able to create. And it's one of the reasons Joe Dispenza does a lot of stuff around this, where we're actually chemically addicted to our own emotions. When we are experiencing a particular emotion, it biochemically has a specific recipe for what's actually delivered in neurotransmitters, in hormones, in stress responses throughout the body. And our cells have receptors very specifically for those particular hormones and for those neurotransmitters. So we become literally chemically addicted to those particular emotions, and it's why it's so hard to break the habit of being ourselves, which Joe Dispenza wrote a book about, literally because of those chemical addictions. So if we're starting to change our state, we're starting to change our personality, because when we're actually experiencing something, and the more and more that we experience it, and you might have came across one of those experiences where it's like, gosh, that person's so negative, so we've actually deemed their personality as a negative personality. They weren't always that way. I'm sure they were a joyous child at some point in their life, and it's just because of the habitual emotions that they've actually practiced that then have created their personal reality, where they're experiencing life through those tainted glasses as well. So the more that, and these little receptors become like hungry birds that just want to be fed. So it's like almost daring the body. The body is entrained, the body is hardwired then to act in that particular response. And it's why it can be so difficult to start to change and to think a new question, to elicit a new emotion, to be able to create a new reality for ourselves, where we're actually starting to perceive things in a more positive and focused way. Hey Heather, great to have you on. So definitely really, really important around all of that as well. So emotional mastery really is the key here, and being able to ask yourself really quality questions like what is great in my life, or what is great about this. And that may be a stretch. I know it certainly was for me after my mum had passed as well. Hey Sharon, great to have you on, sweetie. So like in experiences like that, it took me 2 years to find the gratitude in there. Yes, there was definitely moments where I felt divine love, where I felt divine appreciation for her. I felt so blessed to have her as my mum. But there was definitely like a lot of grief and a lot of other emotions that I experienced, anger and denial, all of the grief process. And it certainly didn't happen in a very rhythmic, ordered fashion. It would jump up in all sorts of different ways as well. So being able to really master our emotions from this place as well was so important for me to learn, because I didn't like who I was actually being. And I kept on thinking, gosh, if only my life was better, or if only my life was different, or if only this had happened, or I was more supported like financially, or like any of those things. So I kept on putting it off and going, well, I'll be finally happy when all of this gets taken care of, or when, I feel supported, or when I'm financially making this amount of dollars, or when I finally found my true soulmate, or like all of those things as well. So it really can be really tricky, and absolutely, Pete, yeah, it's tough, isn't it, when we're around, and particularly with family. I find it can be one of the hardest things. In a personal development course that I once went to, they're like, if you can be around your family and be completely at peace, and I love and adore my family, but I can still be highly triggered by them, simply because of like my own internal stuff going on. And so the more that we can be at peace within ourselves when we're around family, really indicates, that's what they were saying at this personal development course, really indicates then that we've done like a lot of work on our own personal development as well. And this is the trick. I think we're all in this mastery game of life that's teaching us how to remain centered within ourselves, how to remain emotionally stable within ourselves, regardless of what's kind of going on externally. And I know for myself at the time, hey Mandy, great to have you on, sweetie. I know for myself at the time, particularly when I was starting to learn a lot of this stuff and starting to put a lot of this into play, like I'd been through some fairly significant life events, and all kind of at a very similar time, and learning to stay centered within that was, I really honestly felt like I was in this pro masterclass. And when life intensifies, and the more that we can really exercise those emotional muscles of really coming back, asking ourselves quality questions, if there was a gift, if there was a blessing in this particular event or circumstance, then what actually is that? And that's where self-love really changed my life in so many ways. Hey Paula, great to have you on, darling. Self-love really changed my life in so many ways, because I used to do a lot of needing external validation. I actually had no clue on how to actually love myself until I was 32. That was when my whole journey really started, and that was from two major life events where my marriage broke down and my mum passed away, which had previously been what I thought, my way of getting love from the world. I had no idea of how to connect with myself at that deeper level. And so it was like grabbing onto whatever I kind of could externally, trying to get some foothold, trying to get some grip hold on something. And I was always up and down emotionally because I was so reactive with how other people were interacting with me, taking it super personally. So if somebody was really busy, I'd be like, oh, they don't like me. And I made it all about me. And honestly, like when we're coming from that place of self-consciousness, or when we make it all about ourselves, that's really it truly is like coming back to that selfishness, because we become so self-conscious and we're in this state of survival, so we make it all about ourselves. When we're filling up our own bucket, and it's a different, some people might perceive it as being selfish, but it's actually very proactive in terms of filling up that bucket, taking care of ourselves to remain centered, so that when we are around family or when we are around other people, we remain non-reactive with them, and we can go, oh wow, they're on this tough journey at the moment, it must be pretty tough, and come from that place of compassion and understanding, instead of projecting judgment or anything like that. And I can put all my hands in the air and all my feet in the air, I've done it all. I'm certainly not saying, there's no judgment from me around when we're behaving that way. It's just being able to be kind and loving with ourselves and go, gosh, what if there was a different way? What if I could ask myself a different question right now that would help me to focus in a different way? And so again, this comes back to that emotional mastery as well, and it's being conscious of our own patterns, or what we tend to be reactive to as well. Hey Stace, great to have you on, sweetie. So in order to do this, like it's really about getting to know ourselves at a deeper level. So journaling is a great thing, and I actually mentioned this in the a recent video that I did as well, asking ourselves 3 questions. What am I sad about? What am I angry about? And what am I scared about? Start to get to know what are your actual triggers. And what I've found is relationships are just the most magnificent gift. Even the most trickiest emotions or trickiest relationships, where we might feel very volatile or very reactive, what I've found is it's actually bringing greater awareness to what needs to be worked on, or what we actually need to heal or come to peace with within ourselves. We all have that light and that shadow side within ourselves, and when we're loving the whole of who we are, we become less reactive with other people, and therefore we stay more centered in who we're truly wanting to be, being loving, being kind, being compassionate. It's very easy to love ourselves when we're coming from that place. When we're reactive, when we're angry, when we're spiteful, when we're guarded, when we're defensive, when we're justifying, when we're blaming, criticizing, like all those things, it's so much harder to love ourselves in that moment. Or if we're being negative, like all of those things, and therefore we'll be triggered by those things in other people. And it's when we can love the light and the dark within us, and love those aspects of ourselves, knowing full well that even though all of that makes up who we are, it's the polarity, it's only the ego mind that judges ourselves for that. And we can come from a true place of choosing who we want to be and how we want to show up, without actually, most people are like, no, but if I accept that part of myself, if I accept or love the angry part, or accept or love the negative part of me, well, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm going to be negative all the time? No, it's actually the opposite, because you're no longer resisting that part of who you are. You're no longer making that wrong or bad, therefore you're not going to be triggered by that in other people. And it's knowing full well, it's with acceptance. It's kind of like going into a situation and saying that this is wrong or this is right, this is bad or this is good, and we start to reject those experiences based on whether we believe that it's good or bad. And it's just the same as rejecting hot or cold water, going, no, it's too hot, I don't want that experience, and we try and push it away. And it's in the pushing away that it's whatever we're focused on, because we don't want to experience that, is what we actually experience more and more of. So in the resistance, we're being resistant to, we're being angry at, or we're being frustrated by, and that's what makes us physically exhausted as well. Sorry, I'm getting a bit passionate, a bit excited. It's what creates resistance in the physical body, because we're spending so much of our time pushing against everything in our world that we don't want to experience, that we're frustrated by or that we're annoyed by or anything else. And all it is this beautiful reflection, wrapped probably in ugly wrapping paper. So it's this beautiful present, it's this beautiful gift wrapped in this disguised wrapping paper, that's hard to see that it's actually a gift, but it's a gift because it's actually showing us what we need to work on and what we need to heal within ourselves as well, what we need to come to peace with and acceptance with. And it's in the acceptance of that everything just drops away and we let go, and we can come from a true place of creating. Thank you so much, Erica, that's so beautiful. Hey Janine, hey Kay, great to have you guys on, thanks for tuning in. We can come to a true place of acceptance and love, and it's in that it's like, life feels so amazing, life feels so good because of who we're actually being. So we're no longer being resistant and pushing against and trying to control everything, freaking out, the ego mind freaking out, wanting control, wanting security, wanting to feel comfortable. And we can come back to that deeper part of ourselves that is all-knowing, that is creating. Literally, you're magnetizing, and there's been scientific studies around it. It's all the quantum physics, and it's proving now what I've intuitively known for such a long time, and that truly excites me. Hey Tina, hey Jody, that we are literally creating, we're magnetizing ourselves electromagnetically. So we're putting out, our heart is literally, it generates electrical impulses. It's what an electric cardiogram, I think I've probably said that wrong, but it's like when they measure your heartbeat, they're measuring the amount of electricity and the electrical impulses that your heart is sending out. So we're actually electrical beings, and we're actually magnetic beings as well. And I can't actually articulate properly the science behind it, but if you're wanting to look into this, Joe Dispenza definitely has this. He actually measures, the scientists in the room that actually measure the electrical magnetic energy that's generated in a room as well. Hey Kat, great to have you on, sweetie. That really shows what level of vibration, of what level of radio waves or delta waves or beta waves that people are actually emitting through their either stress response or through who they're actually being at the time. And so they're the brain waves as well as what we're actually emanating. And you'll know this because when you walk into a room, I'm sure you've had those experiences just the same as I have, where you're like, oh, what's going on in here? Like, oh, this does not feel good, you know, where the tension is so thick you can almost cut it with a knife. Or you've walked into a room and gone, oh my God, the energy is great in here. Or you've met someone, you're just like, I love this person. I just want to be around them more. And that's because you're literally picking up on their electrical magnetic energy. And it's powerful because that's literally how we're actually attracting, like is attracting like, we're generating those experiences. So if we're wanting to change our tomorrows, knowing full well that today, if you're not experiencing what you want to experience in life, and I've certainly been there, and it's hard and it's tough in that moment, but it's nothing more than a collection of yesterday's thoughts and yesterday's feelings. And it's the feelings that we're actually aligning ourselves to tomorrow's experiences. So if you really want to change your life, and I've literally came from, you know, like I was explaining before, over 10 years ago, before I started on a lot of this path, path. I'd been dabbling in self-development, but I wasn't heavily into it. Hey Dan, great to have you on. But literally 10 years ago, like my life was falling apart. Everything was dropping away around me. I was in a real significant place of pain. My mum had recently passed away. My marriage had broken down. There was lots of stuff happening. I was financially really terrified. My girls were only 5 and 7. And I thought, oh my God, I have to learn these keys to emotional mastery. I have to know how I can bring myself back on track, how I can stay centered and respond to my life in this way. And fast forward 10 years now, I am just so blessed to be doing and have created my business and my career in a way that just truly lights me up. I work with the most aligned people that I just love and adore. I've attracted just the most incredible men into my life that we just have like the most incredible connection together. It's so profound. I live in a place that I truly love and adore. I wake up feeling so happy, and it's not that I'm happy all the time. I don't want to put that out there because it's not a one-time certificate. I'm still human. I'm still reactive to my environment at times, and again, that's just that beautiful trigger to go, oh, hang on, Sal, you've got a little bit more to unpick here, or a little bit more to work with. And falling deeply in love, reframing. Years ago, it used to take me months. There'd be one thing that would happen that would derail me for months, and I would feel miserable. I'd take it personally. I'd be so upset. And then it became weeks, and then it became days and hours, and now it's like literally moments. If it's something really big, it might be a few hours, or it might affect me for a day or two. But when I'm saying it affects me, it's nothing compared to what it used to, and I'm doing the work on that to be able to elevate through those emotions fast as well. So even in significant things, which I did have experience a couple of months ago around, I was able to bring myself back on track faster and easier than ever before. So yes, I like this, Pete. It will still be when cut out, but it will lose its rhythm. Yes, I love that. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I just think, our hearts have just the most powerful energy. There's something so powerful about our hearts and what we can generate from our hearts as well, and the Taureau energy as well. Thank you so much, Dan. That's beautiful, darling. And I hope you're going well as well. Hey, Michelle, great to have you on. So in terms of like, how do we actually really concrete this? How do we actually move forward? Is really getting some emotional tools in your tool belt. I actually share just the most amazing program, and I don't say that from a place of ego. It really, I'm so connected to it. It's something that I've taken myself through 3 times already, and it's my Authentic Happiness Intensive Weekend program. This is the first time I've actually done it in a weekend event where I am literally stepping you through little bit by little bit, and I'm truly excited to bring this because this is where we tie all of these bits and pieces together, where I've gone out obviously on several different tangents around identity, around our beliefs, around values, around our emotions, what we're reacting to, around our relationships. And relationships can be relationship to anything. So whether that's money, whether that's our current work experience, like work environment, or the experience that we're having in work, whether that's relationships obviously with other people, our intimate relationship, all of those aspects where we bring it back and we help you to really define and get those quality questions that really can guide you every single day, where you're waking up, you're going through a particular morning ritual that really serves you, and you're creating all of this, and I guide you through how to elicit those things, how to understand those things, and how to create a true roadmap for yourself that's actually really going to serve you. And you get to observe and have a look at the old map and how that's potentially not brought you the results that you're wanting to create or experience in your life as well. And then you get to create this new roadmap going forward that you take with you out into your life. We've got a whole bunch of mindset stuff, so it is an intensive weekend in really bringing things back. You'll have so many light bulb moments. Even when I take myself back through this program, it's funny because it's like, obviously, like I've trained in this stuff for so long now, but it still catches me unawares, and it's like, like, oh my God, I forgot about this, or I didn't even think about that, or oh wow, yep. And just looking at things from a different perception as well obviously just changes everything in what we're actually focusing on day to day. And then you also have the logical, strategical things in terms of really concrete actions to now go out into your life and actually implement. Not only that, you have lifetime access to this program, so it's a thing that you can take yourself back through again and again. So if that really resonates with you, if you feel really called around stepping in and doing that training, I can actually set it up to do this online if you're overseas or if you're not actually local within Wagga. So just reach out to me, let me know, because the program is actually done online, so you can bring it up on your computer and have access in the actual room where we'll actually be delivering and facilitating this. It is an intimate group. I only have 9 places left at the moment. I'm still running my half price special. Simply because I truly believe in this program, and I want it to be deliverable to as many people, or accessible as many people as possible as well, simply because these are the skills I truly believe that we need to be also teaching our kids, and it will set them free. These are skills for life that once you've got that level of emotional mastery, you can literally go through any experience. I'm actually in Wagga, Pete, so Wagga, halfway between Sydney and Melbourne. Hey Robin, great to have you on, gorgeous. So definitely these are skills for life, and to be able to share that with our immediate family is a true gift, and I really encourage people to actually share the online program with their immediate family, not with extended family, because it is intellectual property, but definitely with husbands or wives, or spouses, partners, and definitely with their children as well, because I just think that there's no greater gift than we can give our kids than that ability to remain self-responsible, to be able to make choices moving forward that are congruent and aligned with our actual heart, and we know that is absolutely right for ourselves, so based in self-love, because when we're happy, we impact everybody else around us. And I have a beautiful statement which I love that just reminds me each day, which is written on my mirror: when I love me, I set everyone free, because I'm not trying to control somebody, I'm not trying to make somebody be a particular way, so that I can feel better. Yes, and that's exactly right, Pete. So definitely Wagga. And hey, gorgeous Robin, great to have you on here too, sweetie. So if that really resonates for you guys, please reach out, let me know, and I can send you some details. We can have a quick chat, make sure it is a really good alignment and fit for you. It's really important to me to have the right people in the room. And when I say the right people, that's not a place of judgment. It needs to really resonate with you, because otherwise, that's a waste of your money and time, and it's a place that somebody else that really could utilize the program, it could also have as well. So, definitely in Wagga, in Australia, Pete. So that's awesome. I'm guessing you're in South Australia. If you're a half an hour behind, I could be wrong about that. But so it's going to be an amazing, incredible weekend. It's on the 8th and 9th of September. Like I said, I still do have 9 places available. So we've got a couple of seats left there, but it will definitely, I'm certain that this will actually sell out completely, simply because it is such quality material, and again, it's lifetime access. Not only that, you also get a whole video program. Literally, it is through a closed Facebook group, but you've got access to like over 50 videos as well on all sorts of topics around authentic happiness, around dealing with stress, around dealing with relationships and challenges, and everything else that's actually going on there as well. So there's so much value in this, not to mention obviously like-minded community and a supportive community as well, that are all in that similar like-minded, wanting to grow, wanting to discover more about themselves, and to be able to change their personal reality and create more of the stuff that we love. And I truly believe it's so unlimited. Years ago I'd created this vision for myself when my life literally fell apart, and I really wanted to experience creating over 100k income, and waking up and green smoothies and yoga and going for 10k runs and everything else. And on my 38th birthday, I woke up and I realized, oh my God, everything on that list, everything in that vision, I was actually living every single day, and I was so excited. And then it was like, oh, but what now? I thought that would take me a lifetime to create. So it was really exciting to actually set some new goals, which I'm currently working on, and have fulfilled quite a few of those already this year, buying one of my dream cars and going scuba diving. That's been on my list for like literally I think 8 or 9 years. So there's always another level around things, and we really can create some amazing stuff in our life. And we also get to be and get to choose happiness right today, without I'll be happy when finally all these ducks are in a row, or finally when I get to this place. And what I found with that level of emotional mastery, the more that we actually create the shifts and changes internally before the external happens, it actually, we can create the external, we actually attract the external changes so much faster in our life, and we don't need to try and control anything or force anything or struggle or effort massively to make things happen. Yes, we still need to take action, but it's a very aligned action, and it will gain greater results. It's like the 20% out of that gets you the 80% of results as well. So all of that just works so well together, and it really lights my heart up to be able to share this with other people as well, simply because it's changed my life so dramatically as well. So hey Bear, great to have you on, babe. So sending you all love. Like I said, if that resonates, please sing out, send me a PM. I'll send you some info on it. You can check it out. If it feels like it really resonates, let's have a chat. Make sure it's a really good fit for you, for what you're wanting to create or achieve or experience through doing the intensive workshop. And yeah, we can go from there. And for everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love to you all. I hope that that's been really helpful for you, giving you some key distinctions as well around moving forward. And remember, it's never about what we're doing. It's always about who we're actually being whilst ever we're doing what we're doing as well. So lots of love to you. Having a magnificent Friday or Thursday if you're in America. And yes, I will catch you guys again sometime really soon. Bye for now.